Donald Trump just kicked a hornet's nest called the Pentagon, and he should prepare for battle. I'm David Reddish. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. You know the old strange but true story about how Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy, and Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln, and people think that has kind of cosmic significance? I just realized another. The last Republican president, George W. Bush, had a defense secretary named Donald Rumsfeld, or Rummy as he was often called. Our current Republican president, Donald Trump, has a defense secretary who is a Rummy, Pete Hegseth. Time moves in such strange ways. And Pete Hegseth moves with all the grace of a three-legged bull. Hegseth, the former Fox News host, philanderer, and lover of strippers, has already earned a great deal of bipartisan criticism in just about a month since assuming his new job. And that's to say nothing of his latest embarrassment. More on that in a moment. In addition to revoking the security clearance and detail of Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff who condemned Trump's role in the January 6th insurrection, and in addition to changing the name of Fort Liberty back to Fort Bragg was named for Brixton Bragg, who was a Confederate general, though Hegseth says that he renamed the base after World War II serviceman Roland Bragg. Whatever. Hegseth said this about the Russian-Ukraine war.
As the war approaches its third anniversary, our message is clear. The bloodshed must stop, and this war must end. We will only end this devastating war and establish a durable peace by coupling Allied strength with a realistic assessment of the battlefield. We're also here today to directly and unambiguously express that stark strategic realities prevent the United States of America from being primarily focused on the security of Europe. The United States faces consequential threats to our homeland. We must and we are focusing on security of our own borders. The United States remains committed to the NATO alliance and to the defense partnership with Europe. Full stop. But the United States will no longer tolerate an imbalanced relationship which encourages dependency. The United States does not believe that NATO membership for Ukraine is a realistic outcome of a negotiated settlement. Instead, any security guarantee must be backed by capable European and non-European troops. If these troops are deployed as peacekeepers to Ukraine at any point, they should be deployed as part of a non-NATO mission, and they should not be covered under Article 5.
Last night, NBC News learned that Hegseth had circulated a memo among congressional Republicans. Democrats did not receive copies. In it, Hegseth revealed that he wants to fire a number of key Pentagon generals, though not for anything to do with their job performance. He wants to fire them because they are close friends or worked closely with Lloyd Austin, Joe Biden's defense secretary. That list includes General C.Q. Brown, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Hegseth had previously attacked Brown, who is African-American, in interviews, calling him woke. The list also includes the current Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Lisa Franchetti, the first woman to serve in the role. Hegseth attacked Franchetti in his book, The War on Warriors, claiming she was only hired because she's a woman. The same memo, which at the time of this report has yet to be made public, also lists a number of other generals Hegseth wants to dismiss. Ostensibly, he's doing so to reduce the defense budget, though given that the budget is currently set at $850 billion, removing these generals is unlikely to save any significant money. Removing them, however, would put the United States at risk. Consider this. Just prior to World War II, Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union, initiated the Great Purge to rid himself of political rivals. That included 3 of 5 marshals, which are the Soviet equivalent of 4-star generals, 13 of 15 army commanders, the Soviet equivalent to 3-star generals, 8 of 9 admirals, and many others. Most were executed after a show trial. That might not seem like a great loss in the grand scheme. The Soviet army was enormous, but Stalin replaced them with less experienced loyalists. Does that sound familiar? More important to this story, however, the Great Purge, according to historians, greatly weakened the Soviet Union, making it vulnerable to attack by Nazi Germany. The rest, as they say, is history. Between 20 and 30 million Russians died during the war. What would removing senior military command in the name of Donald Trump's vanity do to the United States? That's something every American should consider. Be sure to check out other videos here on the channel for more news about Trump's power grabs, Pete Hegseth, and the future of the United States. I'm David Reddish.